Welcome back, basketball fans. The ending to the Michigan-Wisconsin fight actually wasn't really the ending. It was uh, the line where the players here, you can see it happening up on the screen. Hopefully I don't get tagged for this, but you see Juwan Howard and head coach for Wisconsin having a chat, obviously not agreeing about something. And going to come in, the assistant coach is going to get right up in there, and here it comes. Wait for it. Bam, right there. Smacked open-handed right in the head. Um, from what I've watched from this and what I've gathered from it, this all comes down to basically, and you can see it's a melee from there. This is definitely something that's not going to be positive for Juwan Howard. You can see in the post-game presser, which I can't wait to watch this. I've been trying to get this video recorded, having technical issues. If you're new here, please hit the subscription button. Subscriptions would really help out a lot. Share this video with your friends out there. Hit the like button if you like it. Comment down below. I'd love to engage with you in conversation about this topic because I'm quite sure there will be a lot of opinions. But in looking at this game, Wisconsin had, I think, one starter out on the floor because this game was in the bag. I mean, I can't tell what the score was. I want to say it was like 77 to 63. So, I mean, if it was 77-73, then, there'd have been a chance. But there was no chance that they were going to win this game. So Michigan decided that they wanted to press. And that's fine if you want to press. I mean, usually, when the game's over, you dribble the ball out, there was a team last year that did this to Kansas, and they were just dribbling it out, and he went and took it and dunked it. And I think he played for Monmouth and jammed it and, thought he was all big and bad. And, you're still down 30, dude, and there's only like 5 seconds left after you dunk the ball. But back to this game, Juwan Howard, he has his guys pressing, and I like Juwan Howard. I liked him when he was with the Fab Five. I think he's a good coach. I don't have anything against the guy. I mean, I don't know that much about him. I don't follow him, tremendously a lot, other than just keeping tabs of where he's at and how he's doing. But when you decide to press a team, then you can't be upset if the other coach calls a timeout because he doesn't want his guys to get embarrassed that they can't get the ball across the half court line and, take that, that 10-second penalty because you only have 10 seconds to advance the ball, so to do something like this, and then, you can just see it just leads into just a huge mess. Trying to go into this article a little bit to see what this article says. It says the weekend marked the first year of that college basketball had been given the stage to itself without the NFL looming over everything, as it always does. So what is the big story to come out of this weekend? Is it the great again, Gonzaga earning the #1 overall seed? Is it Auburn taking a surprising loss to Florida? Is it Kentucky and Kansas continuing to look like title contenders, or perhaps it's Texas Tech's continuation of a remarkable run in its first season after Chris Beard left for the hated Texas? It's obviously none of those things. Juwan Howard hitting Wisconsin assistant coach Joe Krebenhoft to the head is the story. And though this debacle is much more than one man insulting another, Howard is far from the only person at fault for this ugly scene that flared up at the end of 15 Wisconsin 77-63 win over Michigan Sunday afternoon. This is from CBS Sports. Howard is one of the sport's biggest names, coaching at one of the sport's biggest programs, a big piece of history. What happened in Madison, Wisconsin was embarrassing display, even made worse because baffling. Howard did not walk back his actions or apologize for doing what he did when he spoke at the post-game press conference. So you slap somebody in the head and you don't apologize for it. What kind of a message are you sending? I mean, you just committed assault on television. I mean, there's no question about it, and if these roles would have been reversed and the other coach would have hit Juwan Howard, what kind of, traction would this story be getting. And then he goes on here to say, I didn't like the timeout they called. And I'm being totally honest with you, Howard said. I thought it was not necessary at that moment, especially with it being a large lead. Okay. But what this article's not mentioning is that, granted, they called a timeout, but you're pressing them. You're attempting to try to take the ball away. You're still playing hard. So the players that he put in, were guys that probably were walk-ons. He didn't want them, to be embarrassed. So he called the timeout to help get the ball advanced, so that they could get it across. So he thought that was not necessary with a large lead. For Phil's frustration spilled over Sunday for Howard and Michigan, which entered the game borderline in need of a win to maintain a positive bubble status after what's been one of the most disappointing performances by any team this season. So Michigan's been bad. They've been bad all year. I mean, they, pretty horrible. Wolverines were ranked in the top 10 in the preseason, and it's been a rocky first week. It's been rocky from the first week. However, Michigan lost at home to Seton Hall on November 16th, and its longest winning streak is 3 games, which happened just once. Year 3 of 10 years of Howard's tenure has been nervy, and I got a feeling it's only going to get even more nervy. An exposed nerve was pressed in Madison. Howard said that the fact that he was touched by someone is what escalated the situation. Still not to hear contrition after the kind of scene was shocking display of hubris. His boss, Michigan athletic director Ward Manuel, clearly disagrees. So the athletic director is going to have a talk with him, and you can see what he said in the statement. I'm aware and have watched the end of our men's basketball game. There's no excuse for any of our staff or student athletes to get into a physical altercation with others, regardless of the instigating factors. I reached out and apologized to Chris McIntosh and President Coleman, and has reached out to University of Wisconsin Chancellor Blank to apologize for the totally unacceptable behavior. We will review the situation more thoroughly and work with the Big Ten Conference as they determine their disciplinary actions, and will determine if any further disciplinary actions are needed. Oh, there's going to be some disciplinary actions needed. It's called #Juwan Howard. Don't even sit on the bench. Don't even come to the Coliseum, to the venue. Don't show up. I mean, all right, you're going to be gone at least 3 games. I think that's got to be a minimum. I mean, it would not surprise me if Michigan, and I mean, you have to treat this correctly, given everything that's going on in the country nowadays. Regardless of all that, he started a brawl with that open-handed slap. I mean, he committed assault on another person. Yeah, the Wisconsin coach got in front of him, put his hand on him because he saw that he was upset, and he saw that it wasn't going to be something that was going to be managed quickly and easily. So if you're upset about that, someone putting their hand on you, well, I mean, if they're trying to protect their people, I don't see that as being a big deal. I would not be surprised if Juwan Howard isn't coaching until the Big Ten tournament. That would not surprise me at all. Sit him the next 5 games. That would be making a statement. That would definitely, that would be sufficient, but it wouldn't be the point it wouldn't be overboard, and, now they're interviewing Greg, I guess it's Greg Gard, the Wisconsin head coach. I don't know. I think we've seen probably just about as enough of this as you can possibly see. I'm trying to see if I can get back up here and find out see if I can get to Michigan's schedule. I should have probably pulled this up before I started, but I was just not having any luck with my technology here. Michigan Athletics, their Twitter. That's probably not going to give me their upcoming schedule. Let's see. Here's a pin. That's January 4th tweet. Yeah, what I'll try to do is I'll try to see if I can pull up ESPN and get a look-see at what Howard throws punch the Badgers game. This will work because this should allow me to click right there on Michigan. That should pull up. There we go. So now we can take a look at their schedule and see what they have coming up. I mean, not that that should impact, or who they have coming up should impact what I think they should do disciplinary-wise, but you know, you got to at least hold them out of the Rutgers game, Illinois game, and I don't think you can have them play Michigan State. I just don't. I think you got to at least sit them 3 games. Honestly, I think you sit them until the tournament, but you know, that'll have to be something that they'll have to, you know, make a decision on. Maybe if they win enough of these games, because right now Michigan's record, if we look at that, Michigan's record is 14-11. They're 7th in the Big Ten. So, you know, they're not great in conference. 14-11 is not great. If they win all 5 of the games, win out, they'd be 19-11. So that would definitely, and they're playing all Big Ten teams. So that would definitely help them in their pursuit. But I want to see if I can get to their standings and see just where they are in the standings. So this will show me where they're at in the conference. And Michigan, so they have, okay, so all their games coming up are games against teams that are in front of Michigan. So, you know, Michigan, they have Illinois, Ohio State, Rutgers, Michigan State. I think it was Iowa. I think I saw that. Scroll down over here. Let's see what the Illinois, Iowa. So they do have Iowa. So we scroll back up here. And so they're going to play Ohio State. Ohio State's 9-5 in the conference. They're going to play Illinois. Illinois is 12-4. They won't probably catch Illinois. Michigan State is right in front of them, and Iowa's right in front of them. So if they win those 2 games, you know, then that would put them at 10-7. You know, that would help them as far as, you know, trying to build a tournament resume. But, you know, more important than the tournament resume is the situation's got to be handled right. And I just don't think you can handle this situation right without sitting him. I think you've got to sit him. Like I said, I'm not the athletic director, so I can't say. I've never been an athletic director, but to me, I would think you'd have to sit him for a significant number of games, but make sure he's definitely back for the tournament, because if you win your tournament, you get in as an automatic qualifier. But you know, it's definitely something that Michigan's going to have to figure out. Hopefully, it doesn't take until 5 p.m. Monday afternoon for them to figure this out. This is something that should be figured out like early Monday morning. So I'll be watching to see what happens with that. But anyhow, this has already turned out to be a lot longer than I wanted it to be. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope I provided some news for you. If you like the video, like it. If you're new here, please subscribe. I'm going to try to start carrying on my miscellaneous playlist, you know, some different, you know, stories like this, big stories, you know, along with the other things that I try to cover. I try to cover the Chiefs and the Jayhawks, and try to cover the Jaguars and do a few other things. But hit that subscribe button if you wouldn't mind. And until next time I got something I think is worthwhile, I'll see you then. Later.